We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
Very old school, and it kind of came back into fashion recently, so it's not the most surprising thing to see, but it is still a little surprising. I mean, basically, especially against someone like Snoot who's going to have so many queens, you know, as long as he doesn't just completely fumble the detection aspect of it, then he should be fine. Hellions only have really one base to get into as well. There's not going to be the third and the natural they could possibly get into since the ramp is so easily covered, again, by queens. It really just be the third base, and well, Snoot is already... He's going to go into roaches. Like, he saw the Hellions come out, that reactor on the factory, and probably was aware of a potential Hellbat attack. Like, one of the only reasons you go for Hellions nowadays. So, I actually really hate when this ends up being the Hellbat attack, because I think it's so expected when you see the reactor on the factory.
Alright, the Hellbat attack will be the choice from Seether, but also gonna get a super quick stim with this, because he did leave the tech lab to the barracks, so the stim is gonna come in. What kind of units do we have at the moment? It's gonna go for first poke with the Hellion drop.
He didn't actually... I mean, Snoot's got to start building roaches, right? Like, why just get the roach run at that time and then just be like, I'll make drones. Like, this is no... it's a little bit scary. So the armory is about to finish up here, but it is going to get a Hellion drop first.
Let's see the vision of Snoot. How fast does he see this coming? And how fast does he react? The drop is about to hit the natural, and there's not that many units there. Only 5 Zerglings gonna transform into Hellbats right into the natural. The micro from Snoot should be enough to save all those drones, but I don't like the positioning there. Actually stuck next to a wall, and they need to go out a little bit. No roaches in the production tab. He feels like he can defend this with queens and Zerglings, but at the moment, the queen getting roasted. Maybe a second one should come, and then some drones to the back. Actually, not gonna get any economy whatsoever. And as I said, that's
right.
No, 1 drone. I think 1 drone, 2 drones maybe.
That was very interesting. So I'm quite surprised that Snoot didn't react with roaches, because I think they just like the automatic reaction to Hellbats. But like at the same time, kudos to him for not doing that. He knew he could defend with the queens on a limited number of things. But I'm really more confused about Seether's decision making right there. To go for the drop and the natural, I mean, that usually doesn't really snowball enough, you know? Like, it really is usually about the attack at the front, which in this case is the third base, and then you rally the other Hellions forward, and then you have another medevac with the Marines come forward. But it was all disjointed, so I don't know if that was, I really only would have snowballed on the greediest Zergs.
I'm also like wondering if you should have just kept the Hellions in Hellion mode, because that's the thing that I'm saying to myself like all the time. Like, when you see the drop, you don't really know what's inside. You can anticipate those are Hellions, but they could have been mines too. But those are Hellions. The moment he drops them, he doesn't know about it. But there's not that many units to actually defend for those Hellions. But the fact that he waited, transformed into Hellbat, then the queens are here, and not a single drone comes out. If you drop the 4 Hellions, you go straight to the mineral line. You can get those 5, 6, 7 drones that could actually put you in a pretty decent pot. Like, that drop didn't do anything. He didn't lose the medevac, hopefully, well, thankfully, but he didn't do anything with it. Like, he just killed a couple of Zerglings and a couple of queens, which is not that bad, not that big of a deal considering how many queens Snoot builds all the time.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal considering what follows it up, which is not a lot. As we can see right now, it is just another Hellbat job. Is at most going to get a mineral mine. That's something that Snoot could actually replace at this point. As soon as he defended against it, and because he defended against it so well, you know, such like a light amount of units, he got the 70 drones, he got the 4 bases, he had his second evolution chamber start as well, which was missing for some time, but it does start, so his upgrades are still on point with Seethers. I mean, we're painting a very grim picture for our Terran player when really, like, technically not a lot has happened, but his opener, I think, at this point, you could call a failure, just like straight up. And it's more about what they do with the follow-up. Like, his third CC came down fine, perfect, like it wasn't harassed or anything, so that's, you know, to his credit.
Yeah.
He got double engineering in this game too, so again, to his credit, not far behind in the upgrades.
Actually, a little bit ahead, I would say, right?
Yeah, a little bit. So that's what melee was
Because
behind.
obviously like the Hellbat timing made us think about like dropping those Evo chambers maybe a little bit later. So in this game, in terms of upgrades, doing pretty well. The creep is still not too bad. Like he needs to stop the creep moving forward right now, because that fourth base, if it's filled with creep and you can get like a total surround from the right and the left side of this rock with a lot of creep, then it starts to be a little bit dicey for Terran player to actually make it work. Gonna drop one Hellbat before losing that Medivac. He had one drone. Once again, not a favorable trade, but could have been worse, I guess, for Caesar. I'm receiving a lot of tweets telling me that Caesar is actually the best Australian guy, best Australian player at the moment, just had a bad first game. I'm down to actually believing you guys on this one. I'm just saying in terms of how that best of 7 shaped up, I expected Probe. We had the the explanation about the map that didn't suited Probe for winning this entire show, this entire best of 7. Now Caesar has an opportunity. He needs to push down that fourth base. He needs to get that forward Crypt Tumor. Back. Can you get it?
That sucks.
Alright.
Yeah, that is a lot of creeps for to go up against the fourth base. I mean, ideally, in most cases, again, if it's a 2-1-1 against the basic Zerg build, you're able to pressure this base while it's still building, while the creep isn't there. So this late, at 9 minutes, yeah, the creep's already there, and this is going to be a point where Snoot, again, he's been on 7 drones for some time. He's got a comfortable armor supply, too. The only chance he had to mess this up was to get off of creep while defending, but that's no chance. The creep is perfectly fine.
Mineral
Right, the 1-1 is actually over for both players. 2-2, about halfway done. That's a pretty nice free-pack of Zergling. That was really, really nice for Caesar. Can he make something out of it? Because, yeah, Snoot just gave away a lot of units while he was trying to transition into Mutaplay. So he wasn't messing around in the previous game against Caesar. He was just going for the kind of build order that he likes to go for in CVT. There's a lot of Banelings though. The Baneling speed is done. Infestation pick coming in, so we will have a transition into late game. That drop would actually cancel that fifth hatchery on the gold. But that fight is pivotal. Like if he's not achieving anything with this fight, I see a pretty bad future for Caesar in this game.
Still, the infestation pit this quickly is a little bit surprising. He hasn't really won a fight and pushed Caesar back entirely yet. It's like he knew the army was on the edge of his creep, but I guess he felt safe enough with the amount of creep that he had and the amount of bank that he has too. It just is it's always a little scary. I don't think he'd be reaching towards that hive quite yet as he sees the army now aggressively pushing forward again, clearing up even more creep, starting to take out his queens too. Only thing that Caesar's missing right here is probably a drop to the right side, which I guess was just cleaned up in the natural, but more
Still
to
living.
stop.
Still living for a bit, and actually a lot of units have been used to defend that drop. Is Caesar gonna try to achieve something with that army movement from Snoot? No, taking his sweet time. Actually, gonna give some time to Snoot to finish up the +2 melee, because he only has one and 2 right there. One melee and 2 carapace, and for now, actually gonna go for a little bit more damage. Some drones dying because of a couple of Marines to the left side. There's still a lot of Banelings though.
Yeah. I don't really know if Snoot has enough of an army, though, to take this on. He's going to go off of creep here in the Wood of Mines and maybe get some good connections. No, not so far.
Okay, still going super far off creep, so maybe an opportunity for Caesar to do something, but there's just too much Zergling, too many Zerglings, too many Banelings. The reinforcements though, those mutalisks are super exposed. The nice micro from the Australian player probably actually gonna push back that Zerg. Here, Snoot has to pull back and make some more units. He's actually transitioning right now into a hive, but he needs more units. If he loses the fourth base, that could be critical for him.
Snoot got way too overconfident. If you don't have Banelings on the backside and they have the reinforcements already in your face, then it actually might be a loss for the Zerg. This is what it's looking like right here.
Yeah, Caesar with a 154 supply against the 97 of Snoot. There's a lot of Banelings, yes, but there's gonna be a couple of Marines and Marauders just living through the day. And look at these reinforcements. There's a lot of barracks in Caesar's base, that's for sure. A lot of units streaming down the map, and he's gonna get that fourth base. 15 more Banelings, 30 Zerglings, but it will never be enough. Scan to the right. Okay, you've got a gold. I know what my next target is.
Yeah, but Caesar, of course, on his own fourth base is actually looking super good in the macro department.
Oh, yeah.
Really impressed. He had those reinforcements on the front line. That was a pivotal moment, basically, in this game. Snoot, I think he really thought he was going to be able to defend. I mean, he was
Yeah.
reaching towards that hives that really told me he definitely thought he was going to be able to defend, but then he's so overreached. Didn't expect the reinforcements to come so quickly. Burrowed Banelings will not save him this time.
Yeah, the nice maneuver, trying to go for that Baneling bomb. Snoot that is, but there is just too much Terran right there. Marines, Marauders streaming in. The 2-2 timing push will kill our Snoot right there, and this is gonna be a 7th game. We'll go to the ace match, and sorry guys, we didn't believe in Seether. The beginning of the game actually gave us some thoughts, because that wasn't a really great opening, but in the end just made it work. Great macro, pretty good splits, and a little bit of overconfidence, a little bit from Snoot.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Like, agreed. Like the opener, I still like. It wasn't that great. The Hellbats died, didn't do too much. The reinforcements died too. We only say the medevac, which is kind of like the bare minimum of what you can do. And Snoot was just getting such a powerful economy. 5 bases, one of them a gold, and he thought he was in a super good position because technically he was. But Seether did not slack on the macro. So that's really, I think, where Snoot was underestimating him.
We see a couple of moves from this game, lots of Banelings crashing through, but yeah, that's the kind of thing that happens in TVZ. You've got a couple of Marines just living through the day, and those 2-2 Marines, like, if they don't have any real positions, like a couple of Marines when you've got that many medivacs in the air, it's just like, freebies for Marines with those kind of upgrades. So just played it well. It's also a really great map for Vanny. That is a really great map for the style that's either used, I guess. We see a lot of issues from Zerg player because they have at some point to go outside of the creep, and if you don't have a really great advantage at this point, you might lose the game, and that's what happened. Like, you went a little bit too further away and got punished for it.
Yeah.
So, Norway, we revive Snoot. I believe there is no questions there.
I really think we do. Yep. I think Snoot really valued that game as well, and so I know it's like, oh, we're gonna do this again.
Yours to orders.
And now we're getting it wrong again. Okay. Sorry once again, Australian guys. You were right. Seether doing super well. So, Clash of Nations. This is game 7, and remember that this game actually will decide who will be facing Ukraine in the winners match of this group. America, Group USA, once again was called because USA was the top seed from this group, and actually not doing that well considering their seed, losing 4-0 against Ukraine earlier today. Habitation Station will be game 7, and will be map 7 rather, and I think now it makes a little bit more sense. Like, Probe probably thought that he could get a win from Vanny, and maybe thought, like, I'm gonna have to play Snoot again if I win, and then on Habitation Station I'm not comfortable. Maybe too little of a map, maybe the gold being a little bit of an issue for him. It's just, I believe for us the surprise was reviving Seether instead of Aegis, because we thought that Aegis was a better player than Seether. But Seether showed some amazing stuff, and I can't wait for him to actually play like in major tournaments.
Yeah, he was actually super good in that last game.
Yeah.
I think it's really like kudos to the Australian team in general, but also like to Seether himself to be like, no, like, I'm not having an off day. This is my day still, like, and I'm going to come back with a vengeance. Like, I think that first game, if it goes to disaster really, for anyone else, they're just like, oh, well, I thought I was pretty good, but actually I guess I'm not. Like, I don't want to play anymore. But no, he came back, so.
Everybody is actually going on Twitter to tell us how wrong we were. So, Pro telling us, honestly, we just have belief in our race. Seether, well, makes a lot of sense. I will not disagree with you guys. He showed some great stuff in that game 6, way better than what he showed. Like, that's the reason also we were looking at it as a surprise, because we don't know him as well as we know you guys, Aegis or Probe, and he didn't show anything great. He showed, player getting outclassed, trying to do a 2-on-1 and just getting destroyed based on it. And now he showed like a proper macro game, even though his opening didn't go so well. And kudos to him in general to just handle the pressure, because you're not having the greatest game 1, then you start your game 2 with a weird opening, doesn't do too well, but he still kept his confidence, and it was like, I'm I'm sure, I'm positive that I can still win this game.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between the two games, because technically, like, both didn't have great starts. I would definitely say the Echo game had a worse start, but still, like, they're like the beautiful starts you would hope for. Is that in the second game he didn't like continue to commit units and get them killed, right? Like that Echo game, he kept on throwing drops away, and he never had that one big push that looked very convincing on Vanny. We'll see if it's as convincing on Habitation Station.
And to the top right of the map, Norway's ace. This is Snoot. That's the red Zerg.
And in the top left, they believed in him his team actually did a really good choice here. A good choice. It is the blue Terran, Seether.
He's actually showed dominance over the Australian region for the last year, but not really competing in a lot of foreign tournaments. Now I think about it, I think I have entered, but I didn't remember it until he mentioned it. So, oh yeah, actually you told me that he wasn't going to a lot of foreign tournaments, but you did have trust in his skills. Well, it's showing, and we have that ace match, which is the best way to finish up this best of 7. I mean, the first one looked super one-sided with a 1-0 for Ukraine, and I thought after Probe's performance that we could see the same thing, maybe getting out a victory over Snoot or something. No, it's gonna be 4-3 either way. Either Australia or Norway will make it to the winners match. But already a really great series, really enjoying it, and we'll see if Caesar can make some magic happen twice against Norway's ace.
Well, now I have a lot more faith in him. He's going to go back to that standard 2-1-1 build too. So again, I said it before the last game. I think if he did the 2-1-1, it would be like way better than an Echo. That was like some nerve or just some I don't know what it was, but it was not, as you guys were telling us and as we witnessed last game, the usual for him. So we see a 2-1-1. I have a lot more faith that he's going to be able to provide, like, again, not like winning the game with 2-1-1 as he takes out the Lings here, actually very nicely done. But that consistent pressure and then that follow-up that can sometimes kill a player, even a player like Snoot. A lot of Zergs actually to the best 2-1-1ers in the world have just been dying to the build they've been defending like 5 times before.
Mineral field depleted.
We'll see how good Michael will be in his army control this game. He needs to achieve a lot more than what he did on Echo. He did achieve something. He did achieve like him losing the game, because that's the thing with the 2-1-1. Like if you go too far, if you lose your opening, because it doesn't look like it's that much, but investing that early in that double rack, that technology reactor on the starport actually uses a lot of resources. It's not like you can go like super hard on double upgrades and 3rd CC after that. Like you invested a lot to have that small task force in the middle of the map, and if you're losing it, like achieving nothing is already kind of bad. But if you lose those units that you mentioned, he kept throwing units away on Echo. He needs to avoid that as much as he can. On the opposite side of the map, Snoot just doing his normal thing, gonna go for that 3rd hatchery to the bottom side, not getting the goal this time. 44 out of 44 supply. He needs to get that supply book out of the way. That is done right now. Middle oblique boost is gonna finish up, and we'll see what he decides to go for in this game. Will it be Roach Ravagers or Mutant?
Yeah.
Forces are under attack.
Wow. Wow. DC our observer was so on point with the energy like catch. That was amazing. Way to go, Kevin. So he was like noting that the chance, or the RPG was like, it's a bit late and then we need to pause because
Mutation complete.
Amazing work. Thank you so much, Kevin. I think you can follow him at I had it before. It's Mapu TV, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
MAPU TV.
Yep.
You guys got to go out there and follow that fine gentleman. So a little bit of more tension before that 7th game can actually go and unfold, because now nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
Waiting for the 2-1-1, macroing up from both sides, no opening, like no cheeky opening from either of those players. Just in general, what would you say? Like, who's the favorite map? Who's the favorite race on this map? Like, for instance.
The map?
Yeah.
Huh. That's actually a good question. I know we had the stats, so like I could have been 100% right if I just paid attention to the map, but
That's what I was looking for. Like, I wanted you to I wanted to see if you actually looked at the graphic. I didn't do it. I have no idea.
I actually want to say that Terran's pretty good. It's just a shorter map. They have that that top path too. That even if the anyone's like suicidal to take the gold base against a Terran who has tanks, but even if they don't, it still provides like that nice little walkway, and then you go right to that third base. You still have that choke to utilize. I actually like it for Terran.
Alright, can I agree with you? But every time I think about Levitation Station, I've got remembrance of Scarlet vs. Honor. One of the greatest game of all time.
It was, yeah.
That was during a Red Bull Battlegrounds. What a great game.
Yeah, Day 9 went over it, you know, in his Day 9 dailies, and it was really, really good. And I went over it too. Like, I taught a class in Starcraft, and I was like, this is the game that I got to go over. It was one of the best games ever in Starcraft.
It was so good. I remember casting it like it was 4 a.m. here, and we got literally crazy with movement back then. Oh my god, computers are coming back. Oh, the baiting trap, the baiting trap. It was such a great game, and Sasha's reaction just after that, like going to the casting desk, like totally shocked, like, oh my god, what have I done? I actually won this game, I can't believe. It was such a great moment, great moment of StarCraft history, and I hope we'll get to make new history and new memories about StarCraft with those Nation Wars 4 right now, 3-3, tied up against between Australia and Norway. Let's see if that second 2-1-1 will do a little bit better. So far, so good, not losing that many Marines, but now this is starting to look a little bit grim, and once again, losing the Medivac, losing Marines. This is exactly, like, this is a deja vu.
A little bit of deja vu. I think he did like a little bit better this time, though. He took more lings on his way out before his army died. But I think we learned very early on with the first people, like, you know, going for 2-1-1, that losing the units is not worth unless you literally kill all the queens, too.
Exactly.
Anything other than that, you would rather have the follow-up push. So, I mean, again, painting a grim picture for this guy, but maybe he can actually make it work. Gonna go for a drop of the main base. It's immediately scouted. Still very on point with his creep spread in his main base.
Yeah, this is something you gotta take into account. Like, it's not because you're not going, you know, the way of your opponent with your creep that's not having creep in your main is okay. Like, you need to have those creep tumors, because it will make your Zerglings go so much faster. Even the queens will be able to help. You can produce some spores thanks to that, like on the edge of your main. There's a lot of good stuff that comes in from creep in your main. Second eBay and the armory coming up to get those upgrades going. But this is literally the same game as we witnessed on Echo. Like, he lost a lot of units. There is earlier upgrades, more snoots, a lot of queens, which actually are super key to defending this kind of strategy. Like, queens do super well against Marines. Like, they don't really die to them. Like, when you've got such a huge amount, you've got energy to transfuse, and you will get the medivacs. And if your micro is not on point, if you're not beyond level, you will lose those medivacs, because there's just too much damage output on those medivacs with the proper targeting from the Zerg player. So just a little bit sad. Like, Caesar can do better. Right now, the 2-1-1, the second try on the 2-1-1 is not going better than the first game.
Yeah, but if follow-up might go better, it really is.
And then too many back dies, full of unit.
Exactly. It really is. It's like so close to being deja vu. I think Caesar is doing like better than the Echo game, but only slightly. So it still doesn't give me, you know, much hope. But his macro really shined last game, and I'm hoping that happens here too. He takes the gold base with his CC. Of course, again, Snoot taking his gold base would have just been suicide against a Terran, so that fourth base down there, it was supposed to be harassed by a Liberator. That was some miscontrol there. And that's honestly disappointing, because if Caesar's going to be this type of Terran to try and do